Welcome to At the Vanguard. We're TB Vanguard, and our motto is for fans by fans. We showcase fans on the front line of the Team Breezy movement. This podcast is an open forum to discuss current topics as they relate to Chris Brown and his fan base.
Welcome to At the Vanguard. Today is February 26th, 2018. Let's just go around and say our names. I'm Nikki.
Paula.
Hey.
Tammy.
This is Jandy.
We have April, right?
April must have dropped. That must have been April who dropped off.
Okay, well, she'll
come back. Yeah.
Okay, you got it. So, as usual, we have tons of stuff to talk about, but let's just start off with Chris being at a dance studio over the weekend. Paula, do you want to say a little bit about that?
Yes. We found out that Chris hooked up everyone in the dance class with Black Pyramid gear, and he gave a little speech about empowerment and women being confident bosses and demanding respect in the industry. I mean, that's very timely, talking about women being bosses and demanding respect. And
Okay.
we all saw that, the little dance thing.
Yeah, I seen it. And he was dancing too. Jim, did you see
Did
it?
anybody see what?
No, I didn't. The last 2 weeks I've been out of the country, so I didn't see. I've a lot of stuff.
Chris at the dance studio. You seen it, April, right?
I was saying that.
Oh, yeah, I think I reposted it.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see the video?
All right. So last week, Monique stopped by the Breakfast Club. There's been some, different posts about this. So it kind of carried on Twitter for quite some time. I didn't personally see the interview, but I do know people were giving feedback. Some were saying that, the more she talks about this and the more we kind of brush her to the side, the more they believe what she has to say is valid. There were a lot of different perspectives that were being given. And I just want to know if any of you happen to see her interview on the Breakfast Club or any particular clips about that.
I didn't see her.
I did.
I seen some clips. And I have mixed feelings. Like, I can understand why people, some people feel like, like they don't want to really hear it. And I think Monique, the only problem that she made, what she's saying is correct, and what she's saying is not the problem. Is when she added that people should ban or protest or whatever against Netflix. I think that was what really, where everything went left. I think if she had not asked people to join her with boycotting Netflix, then she would have been okay. Because what she's saying is the truth, and it's not only for entertainment or comedians. It's for normal people, everyday working people. Men do get paid more than women. That is a fact. It is an equality. It is. For working day people, they will pay a man more than they pay women. That's the truth everywhere.
It's not just about women making more money. It's about sisters not making enough money. She has just as much clout. She is much funnier than that girl she keeps bringing up. This is the thing. At the end of the day, she is absolutely right. She is 100% correct. She's the only one that has basically taken up this battle, because this is going to be a battle, and unfortunately she's on her own. I feel bad for her because of that, but what she's doing, she's right. She's absolutely correct about the amount of money she got offered in comparison to the other comedians. She has a valid point, and I don't even think it's anymore about boycotting Netflix. It's not really about that. It's about the inequality. And basically, it is racist. What they're doing is racist because she should have gotten just as valid. Like she said, she's been doing movies. She just did a movie. I mean, I saw the movie. It made a lot of money in the box office, but the stuff that she's bringing up is absolutely valid. I think that what she's saying, just like the stuff that Charlemagne, we're gonna start calling him Leonard, because that's his real name. He doesn't deserve to be Charlemagne the God. He's no God. So no, he doesn't need to be called that. And she was right. She called him out on his crap. And that's been long overdue because at the end of the day, he has been basically targeting black people to tear down on that show.
Well, Charlamagne just,
go ahead.
Sometimes he, like, that's what he does, and he tries to do with everybody. He's not.
It's not okay, Tammy. It's not okay.
I'm not saying it is, but he's not as disrespectful as he is to a lot of people. Like, he pick and choose. But it's like a certain, it's a certain time. Like, you know, when you can be an idiot or act a fool, because that's what he normally likes to do. He likes to put people in a hot seat. That's what he likes to do. Yes. But when it comes to issues like that, and you have her saying, because she said, like, you know, I went to these people, and I think they were white people, and they were like, you know what, you're right, we're going to stand with you. And I went to these people, and I believe they were white people, and they said, you know what, Monique, you're right, we're going to stand with you. And when someone is saying that, then yeah. And when someone is saying that to you, you need to really, like, back it up. You really need to back it up, and instead of trying to be funny and putting her on a hot seat saying she still hasn't explained to you why she's very
I don't think that he's trying to be funny. I think that he's basically calling her an ass for trying to have equality in Hollywood, period. So she is right on about that. And something else that bothered me that I thought she made really great points about is the fact that he's in journalism. He holds this mic, but you don't even have enough decency or professionalism to even do the research that was handed to you to do. He wasn't even able to communicate with her effectively because he didn't have a leg to stand on because he hadn't even done his own research. They handed him the stuff so he could actually ask valid questions, and he couldn't even do it because he was too stupid.
What is it, Leonard? Leonard is not a journalist. Leonard is not a journalist.
The name is Leonard. Leonard.
Hold on.
He is not a journalist. He's an idiot.
No.
And he likes to put people in the hot seat.
That's exactly right.
And he, that's what he was trying to do with her, but he was just,
he likes to put
it was just the wrong timing, because what she was saying is actually something that a lot of people are going through with as far as men. I don't know if white.
But she's the only one that's taking up the stick to handle it. She is the one that's taking up the position to say, hey, and you know what? Knowing that she's going to be further blackballed, further moved out of the Hollywood light because of what she's saying.
I just want to inject this little thing. Last week, there was an interview with Viola Davis, and she said the same thing.
Yeah,
it's like it's a different thing.
The same thing.
She's saying, I make a tenth of what a white actress makes, and I have, or they offer me a tenth. I have to go in and fight for my worth. Which now that is acceptable. Yeah, she has to fight for her worth. Which is exactly what Monique is doing. The difference is Monique wanted people to back her, but that's what's happening. She has to fight for her worth.
And Monique makes some very valid points. She even said, "Why is it so hard for my brothers and sisters to support me versus other races who are looking at it from a totally different perspective and are saying, you know what, you're absolutely correct. This is absolutely valid, but." I don't know why. I mean, even I was very skeptic. You know, I really wasn't listening to her message. I was more listening to that it seems like she's always complaining about stuff. And I have to say, the things that Charlamagne said is exactly what we've been saying to Monique. Those are things that we have been thinking and saying. Those are the things that were said on that radio station that she called in when she called into Tom Joyner. They said the exact same things to her. Everybody who called in did that. And honestly, I felt the same way. But I totally said, wait, let me look and listen to what she's talking about. And I was like, okay, God, she's absolutely correct.
I think part of the situation is people don't know the full story. And so they're just going off the fact of, oh, she want to boycott Netflix? Why should we, that, they don't want to do that. And so they're not really paying attention to what she has to say. And so, right. And, at the end of the day,
that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, what she's fighting for is something that would, benefit everybody.
Yeah.
So you have
It's
to take that piece. You have to take that piece to the side. But the thing that bothers me about Charlamagne, and like I said, I didn't see the interview, but this is the second time in the same month, I believe, where a minority woman has come on, and he kind of just brushed off what they have to say. They did the same thing with Amaya La Negra when she was on, and she was talking about her experience as an Afro-Latina. They kind of brushed that off, and it's like, when you have someone on your show that's talking about a topic you are not familiar with, you are not going to become familiar with if you continue to run your mouth.
Yeah.
Well, but Envy wasn't really saying much either. It's like someone's coming to you with their experience. Shut up. Like that,
right.
Because there's other people listening too. And if you're not going to ask legitimate questions, shut up. Let them talk. Let them say what they have to say, because there are tons of people who understand what she's going through, listening, who understand what she's going through and can relate to that experience. And so they got him together a couple days later. Someone else was on, and they got him together, and they said, and Angela Yee actually said something too. She said a couple days later, she's like, listen, just because that's not your experience and you don't get it, that doesn't mean that experience isn't real for them. And I'm not sure what his problem is, but my issue is I don't have to agree with you, but I do want to understand where you're coming from. And I'm not going to be able to do that if I don't let you speak, and share your story and share what you have to say. So regardless, I think, was it last week we kind of, or maybe the week before, we kind of slightly poked fun of Monique just a little bit because, her husband was on the show. I think April brought that to our attention on a radio show and all of that. But the more she talks and the more we kind of look at how people are responding to her, good and bad, it brings up the point that what she's saying, there's some validity to what she's saying. Right. Maybe she's not going about it the right way, for some people, but it doesn't mean that there isn't validity in what she's saying.
And it can be related, broader to just about everybody as far as the men and the woman equality. And it might be the same thing, with women, white women and black women, or white men and black men, and equality there as well. And if she is able to relate it to the general, to everybody, then I believe that's why some people are picking fun of her or not really listening to her. I think the Netflix threw everybody off, the boycott Netflix, because that's what that's where your mind went, boycott Netflix. It wasn't even on what she was actually saying anymore. It was like, boycott Netflix. Like, why do we have to do that instead of
like we're suffering?
Right.
Right.
But I think one of the problems with what she did, though, because I totally agree with what she's saying, but the whole thing of the way a protest happens, I mean, it's not 1968. I mean, everybody's not going to be marching in the streets, and it's a different mindset. But also, when she talked about the amount of money, it's very hard for some people who don't make $500,000 in 10 years. To hear, money. But really, I mean, she's absolutely right. It's like, you don't want to just say, just take whatever they give you. No, that's not correct. But, but I think that's what's happening. Like don't even mention the amounts, just because, I mean, regular people can't relate to that. And it just sounds like you're being greedy. But of course, that's not.
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. Regular people, like normal, ordinary people, can't relate to that. But we do know that she's a celebrity, and we know what kind of money they make. Right. But I think it's the Netflix thing. If she would have just kept that boycott out of it and just said, I'm being discriminated against, or inequalities in the workplace, as a comedian with Netflix, if she would have just kept that message, and if she would have also, and it's a bigger problem with, if she would have just related where other people, ordinary people, can relate to. Because, I mean, in the Congress, they've been trying to push that. Obama was even trying to push that, where women can get, paid equally as men. So he used to say all the time, I want my daughters to get paid, I want my daughters, he always references daughters, to be able to make the same as a man. Why not? So it is something that's happening. And still the 13 million was less than what Chris Rock, and definitely less than what Dave Chappelle made.
Was something else with this too, and that is the blackball piece for her, or lowball, the blackballing. For that, people are still, when I was looking at the commentary on Twitter, they don't necessarily understand why she was blackballed, and for some of them, they kept saying, "See, she just doesn't get it." And so I was trying to read and understand that, because that adds to her frustration as well. Because people were saying, well, she's not relevant. Well, if you're blackballed, it's kind of hard to be relevant, because you can't get work. And so then there was confusion of why she couldn't get work. And it was, well, she can't get work because what she said about Oprah and Lee Daniels. And so we know why they said she was blackballed. But what was coming out over the weekend was, well, Kevin Hart did the same thing, and they paid him. Her contract was fulfilled. The contract didn't state that she needed to promote, overseas. So why are you trying to have her do something that's not in her contract or not pay her for it? So I'm just saying what was going on Twitter. So they start calling her difficult and, hard to work with, which are labels that, which are labels that black women get.
Right.
Because Christian Bale, he still gets work in Hollywood. He had, a 2-minute rant a good 5 years ago on one of the Batman sets, went off on somebody, screaming and hollering for a good over a minute. He still gets work.
Oh, you're saying that Kevin also did not promote? So that was why it was something that he didn't promote.
Right. So after,
he did the same thing, and he didn't have a problem.
He did. He did. Well, it was similar. It was similar. So they wanted her to promote, but they didn't want to pay her. She had done what she was supposed to do in her contract, and they wanted her to promote after the fact, and they weren't going to pay her, and they also weren't going to pay for her accommodations like hotel or whatever overseas. So she said no. Kevin, they wanted him to tweet something. He's got millions of followers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Right, and he said no, you need to pay me, and they did.
Oh, they did.
I believe they did. Did.
Yeah, because
but initially they weren't.
His personal Instagram, he will promote on his personal Instagram if he's contracted or paid contractually to promote. He was in a movie and they didn't do that, but they still expected him to promote. He was like, no, and they had to come up with the money because otherwise he was not going to promote on his Instagram because it's his personal Instagram. Okay, I see CM and Sade are here. If y'all want to chime in, we're talking about Monique on The Breakfast Club.
Hi, CM. Hi, Sade.
Hi, guys. Hey.
Oh, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
What about Whoopi Goldberg? Because people were talking about Whoopi Goldberg saying she would have schooled her.
we were gonna get to that, but before we go to that one.
To me, some of the celebrities too seem like Monique is being a big troublemaker. Like, well, if you would have spoke to me, I could have told you how to go about business. And it's not like she doesn't know how to go about business. What she's saying is that they're not paying her what she's due or what she feels she's worth. And, that is totally something up to someone. You can't tell someone what they're worth. If she feels she's worth a certain amount. So how can you school someone on what they're worth? Like, can she school Whoopi on what she's worth? Like, can anybody school you on what you're worth? Like,
no,
that's something
very demeaning. Now, if she was talking about the process, as far as schooling her on the process of how to get what she wants, that's different. But I did hear, I did know that they weren't going back and forth, but there was a conversation about that when Monique was on The View. And it also speaks to, again, her not getting the support from, her own. And you don't really know if is it really her approach? Is it really people are scared, because of, is she shaking the table? You just don't necessarily know where that's coming from. So, but there have been, go ahead. I know Sam wants to say something. I just want to say this one thing before I forget, adding on to what Tammy says. That's a very valid point as well, because at the time she got blackballed, it was probably the worst time in her career to be blackballed. She had just won an Oscar, and usually, you just keep soaring up. But there are plenty of people who had quote unquote fell off, and all you really need is that one project, like Robert Downey Jr. He fell off, and they gave him, was it Iron Man? Did they give him Iron Man? Yeah, I think they gave him Iron Man. And that totally put him back on the map. People forgot about him because he was in rehab. He wasn't doing well.
Not rehab, prison. It was prison.
Yeah,
almost.
Well, that too. But what I'm saying is, people had forgotten, because he went away or whatever. People had forgotten that star power and just what an awesome actor he is. So for those people who are quote unquote, well, she's not relevant or what has she done? All it would have taken is the one right project to get her quote unquote where she needed to be. She could have, just being devil's advocate, she could have, tried to go with someone else and then come back to the table like, look what you missed out on. But I get it, she was pissed off, and rightfully so. Sam, what were you going to say?
I think we're all forgetting one thing, though. We're looking at this level of industry people to be like old school level of industry people. This ain't the old days. Nobody gets a pass anymore for their longevity of greatness, right? Like, I seen Michael Rappaport dogging out Janet Jackson because, everybody was doing their little thing. Black Twitter was kind of going in for Janet, da. He hops on and says, when the last time Janet had a hit? When the last time, blah, blah, blah. But my thing is, like, that's how, really is how even this whole generation is. Nobody cares, like, that, Janet Jackson is Janet Jackson, but because she hasn't had a hit in years. And so they would automatically say, oh, Beyonce is so much better than Janet ever was. And you're sitting there like, what are you talking about? Like, are you crazy? But that's what I'm saying. Like, we looking at it logically. But when I look at Monique and I think about her resume, of course, it's great. She won an Oscar. But also, Monique, I want you to think about the Will Packer and Tyler Perry's and Oprah Winfrey's, who was out there advocating for you before you won the Oscar, before you got that big major role that you needed. So I ain't saying that they right in all this, but I am saying you don't bite the hand that feeds you either. Okay, you won the Oscar, but now you're going to go to them and say, well, you're going to give me, such and such amount of money. Then they're going to be like, well, we'll just get somebody else. And then you mad. You can't be mad. You need to go somewhere else that they're going to pay you. You don't have to dog Oprah. You don't have to dog Tyler Perry or nothing like that, because what did they do? They came and made a platform. They made a platform for your talent when those white people wasn't really giving you no shot, zero shot, period. But they had to go through what they went through. They had to go through all the, the hell and drama and everything just to get to where they are. And then now they trying to give out a platform, and then it wasn't Will Packer that started dogging her before she started talking. This been happening. You know what I'm saying? She got mad. I'm blackballed. Well, guess what? All these people are friends. They're all friends.
Yeah.
It's the best interests of their own company at the end of the day. That's just how it goes. I mean, I ain't saying it's right. I'm just saying, when you're looking at it on both sides of the table, you're an Oscar-winning actress. But why you gonna come and try to make Oprah and Tyler and Will the enemies?
Because she's an Oscar-winning actress now.
But wait a minute.
Them other people that didn't give you the opportunity to even get the Oscar, go after them.
Wait a minute. Wait
still have
Wait
to
a minute.
get paid what you worth. I don't get you can't say because they were out there.
They don't want to pay you though. Just go find somebody that will.
Well, I agree with that.
I do.
She shouldn't
exactly right.
have went out and badmouthed them.
She should
I agree
definitely
with that.
find somebody who will definitely pay her worth. However, you shouldn't be blackballed because you won't do something that's not in your contract.
That's true.
That's just
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
if
saying.
it's in your contract,
But if it's not in your contract, and she specifically said it was not in my contract to promote overseas, you want me to do that?
And then they don't want to pay
pay
for
me.
hotel and stuff.
If you're not, so, you know, it'd be different if it was in her contract. This is what she's supposed to be doing, and she said no. But if it's not in her contract, and you just wanted her to promote because the movie was taken up and blah 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 blah, oh, and you need to pay for your own accommodations as well. But then that's a problem because now you want her to work for free, and nobody wants to work for free.
that's true. But
They don't have
But
to.
I don't
do.
believe. Now,
To
me
get to the next
personally,
level.
I don't believe that's the reason that
That's what she's
everybody
saying.
cut her off. Okay, that's
But
what
that's
she's
what-
saying.
no,
I
but
just
that's
don't
what-
believe that.
I don't know if that's the case though, because there are plenty of people that got put on the quote unquote communist list back in the day, cut off by word of mouth. I'm not saying it is, I'm not saying it isn't, but they labeled her difficult. You know, and it's not like she was getting movies like you said that were mainstream movies. Precious was an indie movie. That was an independent film.
Yes,
So
it was.
we'll never know
Yep.
the full grasp of it. But what we do know is this is what she's saying. They're not really saying anything, you know, but this is, at least as of today, this is what she's saying. She's been pretty consistent, you know, in what she's been saying. So, you know, we all have mixed feelings about it, but I'm just saying, you know, people
No,
deserve
I
to.
think she
Well, you
deserved
didn't
to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think she deserves
Yeah.
to be able to work. I just feel like the way she presented her case, it just, in this era, it wasn't going to fly. Because, first of
No.
all, you're looking for this generation to know you.
Mhm.
And, you know, most of them only know the Christmas movie. Like, half of them don't even know
Right.
Christmas. Like,
That's
what are
true.
you talking
That's
about,
true.
you know?
That's
No.
true. You're right.
So
Yep,
it's
you're
like
right.
she's trying to take her case to this court that don't even know nothing about what she's talking about. So, you know,
Mhm.
I just think her presentation of what she was, because Viola Davis is doing the same thing. She's just not out here going, she ain't hitting.
Damn.
I guess the
Right.
main, but she's saying, hey, I graduated Juilliard, I did this, I did that. So if you're saying I'm the
acted
black Meryl
30
Streep,
years.
why I don't get paid like Meryl Streep? You know what I mean? But she's doing a different platform. She's doing it in a way where people are listening, going, well, dang, she right. Like, why isn't
Okay.
it happening?
Right.
You know?
Okay, so let me just say this. So is it wrong for her to, like, for example, if she went to do a deal with Netflix and Netflix said, well, this is what we're going to pay you, she's saying, oh no, I'm worth more than that. Is it wrong for her to then just, instead of just moving on to something else or someone else, to just bring it to the public and ask them to boycott them because they don't want to pay her what she wants to be paid?
Well, it's funny.
Is that
right?
what
It's her right.
No, it's not wrong, but it may stop other people from wanting to work with you if they see you do that. Yeah, and it just depends who does it. Sometimes it works in favor for some people. Sometimes it doesn't.
But think about
So
it, though. If you didn't want to be blackballed, you didn't want to be blackballed, right? Or stood out, or somebody picking you apart. Why are you going to tell somebody to do the same thing to a company, right? I'm just saying, you're asking people to get behind you on something that they just decided they're not going to pay you that. Okay, then find somebody that'll pay you what you're worth. And then, like you said earlier, then Netflix is like, well, dang, our value just went up. Now we really gonna have to pay X, Y, Z, because you can't.
Yeah.
It's just like me applying for a job, and they say, "Yo, we're gonna pay you, $30 an hour," and I say, "Well, no, I got all this experience. You gotta. Why you ain't gonna pay me what you paying such and such?" And they say, "Because that's not what we offering you." Then what I'm gonna say? Well, everybody go boycott this company because they won't pay me You know, I can't turn it into a racial issue or nothing like that on the strength of
Right.
that's just not what they offered me. They're not going to pay me that. So,
Right.
you know, unless
Well,
I can
so-
say,
Yeah.
you know, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Before you came in, we were talking about how she turned it more into a broader issue about Black women in
Yeah.
general making less, which is true. She's not lying, and you know, Black
Yeah,
women
she's
making
not
less,
lying.
and that speaks to her as well. And the fact that what was it? Black women making less and women making less, you know, in general. So just you know, her talking about how they lowballed her. And the other thing I was going to say is, I think the reason she tried to get people to blackball or not blackball, but, you know, boycott Netflix, in my opinion, is because of the fact that everybody, when something goes wrong, they're saying, hey, let's boycott this or boycott that. But she just chose the wrong venue because people benefit from Netflix too much. But I think she honestly thought it would have been that situation where a couple of weeks ago people were like, well, let's boycott H&M. But boycotts, they don't really work, you know, and at least not the way that they used to. And it would be better to just support, you know, Black-owned business, or, you know, put the money elsewhere. You know, you would do better that way.
And then there's several other department stores. There's only one Netflix.
But she still got a valid point, though.
We had several
Still got a
other.
valid point.
Hi, okay, let's give a few people
Netflix,
go ahead.
I'm just thinking that Netflix, they use people like crazy, not just Black women, not just women. And they making money off of people, you know, all the time, and take their creative ideas and run with it because they got the money to do that. But I see what she's saying, but it's got to be a better way for women to be paid. Exactly, but they got to do. But somebody has to say something about women not being paid equally, not just Black women. But Netflix, the boycott, that might have been too ambitious. But I see what she was trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because yes, women aren't paid equally, period. But minority women are paid even less than non-minority women are. So that is an issue. That's an issue. Even in feminism, you know, you have white women, and then you have the issues of minority women. So that discrepancy is still there. So it would be nice to see her get some support in that broader sense. You know, because
I agree with that. But I also understand where Pam is coming from too, because honestly, you know, sometimes you got to look at the bigger picture. Even though I'm not getting paid to go overseas and do all this, will it turn my career into a, you know, Will Smith type career? Sometimes you got to eat shit to get to the next level. I'm sorry, but that's just life. I mean, really, and that's work.
Maybe she thought she ate enough
for
shit.
some of us.
And then sometimes they expect you to do it all the time.
And the other thing was, that was a friend.
Who knows what would have happened had she done that, though? Had she just went on ahead and did it, just do it. I mean,
she didn't have to.
I don't know.
She shouldn't have to.
She didn't have to. You know what? She is suffering the consequence of not doing it, too.
Maybe.
I don't think she's suffering the consequences. I think she sacrificed this position, this job that she didn't do to bring awareness, and she sacrificed income that she could have had. But she's definitely bringing awareness, and people are supporting her. Some people are clowning her, but some people are supporting her too.
Sure. She's doing that now.
But if she's doing that
now,
right? Like is what we
she's
see
just
now
doing that.
I don't think that.
And we had several Netflixes or several different companies doing pretty much or similar to Netflix. There wouldn't be a problem. The only problem with Netflix is that that's pretty much the only one that people go to when they want to watch and rent movies. So that's the issue. See, H&M, there's several department stores. You don't have to shop there. So we could.
If she had went, okay, now. You finally got the role, the perfect role. You got the perfect job. You created the biggest buzz with this movie. Now you got, because I mean it just wasn't her. I mean that whole Gabrielle Cinebray, that whole cast, everything. Yeah. You had the best movie. You had everything. And this Will Packer, or was it Lee Jack? Whoever was the producer, but Oprah them bought the movie. Oprah, Tyler Perry, they went in and they bought the script and all this stuff, right? They go in, they make this movie.
Right.
You become an Oscar winner. You put your heart and soul into this thing.
Yes.
And okay, so you promote it here domestically as you should, part of your thing. And it's just everything. But now they want you to go overseas. They ain't paying you to go overseas. Ain't nobody giving you nothing. But you are now an Oscar award winning actress from this role. Forget them paying you.
Yes.
This is about the money long term that you're gonna make just from your face being
Your future
overseas.
career.
Yeah, from being overseas, contracts you're gonna make over there, well beyond Tyler Perry and whoever else. This is about your own destiny. This ain't about trying to be stuck in, oh, I won the Oscar, pay me what I'm worth right now. You got to see the big picture for your life. And even
she didn't have the Oscar during that time.
No, she
didn't
didn't
have
have
the Oscar
that
at that
time.
time. She didn't have the Oscar at that
Okay,
time.
well, even more so. Even more
Right.
so. Because the only reason I'm saying this is when you get caught up, and well, that ain't in my contract, so I ain't gonna go. Well, what are you gaining by staying home too?
She wanted to protect her family.
Okay, so
I can't knock that.
Okay, I understand that, but why didn't they just pay her to go? If they really wanted her to go and needed her to go overseas, why wouldn't they just pay her?
Who else?
They need to see her commitment level. Sometimes you are
Wait.
your commitment level.
We have a free-for-all. We need a little bit of order. Okay.
Who else can get paid?
Hold on. So April said they wanted to see her commitment level, but she already committed to the role. She did everything that she was supposed to do, and she went home to spend time with her family.
And this is sometimes what you are required. She's not the only one that's been asked to do that and has done it in his career.
I disagree. I disagree.
Go ahead, Dee, go ahead.
When Kevin Hart, they asked Kevin Hart
We talked about him.
publicize his movie, and he said no. And then you know what they did? They paid him, right? But here's the other thing. When we did that movie and they had
say who they are.
Whoever was supporting the movie, that Kevin Hart, they paid him. He said he wasn't going to do it.
But that was a major movie studio. That was a major movie studio.
Yeah, Oprah has money. Oprah has money. All those people have money. They could have paid her.
Not only that,
Oprah is not
Okay, wait. We can't all talk. Go ahead, Tammy. Go ahead.
That's who's going to make money off of her promotion over there. So you mean to tell me she doesn't get paid? It's not in her contract to do it, but it's business. But it's not business in the contract because somebody forgot to do it or they didn't want to pay her beforehand during making the contract. So she goes over there and has to pay for her own hotel and everything to promote a movie that they're not paying her to do and it wasn't obligated for her to do for them to make money? That doesn't make any sense.
She's not. They're
Yes,
not
it
making
does.
money. They're not making
It's
money.
about networking.
Right. It ain't even about the money.
It's a bigger picture than that, Tammy.
It's
bigger than the money.
And network. She didn't need to go to listen. That's in business. And whatever you do in business, that's the reason why you have a contract. Okay, that's the reason why you have a contract. Okay, because you're making a deal according to that contract and you're being paid according to that contract. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything extra for anybody because we can be friends, but this is business. Okay, I'm not doing any favors unless you're doing some favors for me.
Hold on.
Right? I'm an actress, and let me tell you something. She won the Oscar because she played the hell out of that part. She did that. Her acting did that. Okay, and she was and she won an Oscar for it. So they gave her the part, but if they would have gave it to someone else, would they have won the Oscar?
Well, we can't
know that.
That's
not only that, though. Not only that, she also did the favor. She got paid low to do the movie, but she was also doing the movie for a friend. So how many favors do you need to give? She already got paid low. She fulfilled her contract. You have to wonder how many people. Yeah, she could have quote unquote just went ahead and went overseas and did whatever. But you know, she wanted to spend time with her family. She didn't want to come out of pocket all those expenses for hotel and stuff. And they should have paid her.
I'm just saying, who knows where she would be at had she just done it.
Who knows where she would have been?
There are things in your career that sometimes you have to do to get to that next level. You have to have a bigger picture, and you know, you have to know that. You have to know that.
I don't agree with that saying. I don't agree with that saying, because the same way you say some things in your career, like doing favors in your career, but when does it end? If you're the type of person that can say, well, we're not going to pay you, but we want you to go over here and promote this movie, but we're not going to pay you. Now, your next movie, they might be asking you to do something else for free. It doesn't get better just because you did a favor. Sometimes people want you to stay in that pocket. Okay, well, we could get her to do it and pay her less. We could get her to do it and ship it, promote it for free. That's not, as a business person, that's not the type of business you want to do.
Okay, let's start there. We're talking about business people here. You're talking about people, grassroots people who grew their business from zero, right? So we're talking the Wilt Packers, the Tyler Perrys, the Oprah Winfrey's, whoever. First of all, nobody knew what the movie would do. Nobody knew. They put their own money out there to pay whoever. Now, whatever you decided, I don't care if you did it for your friend, whatever your issue.
Right. That was your choice.
But yeah, so you signed to do it for this amount of money. Nobody knew what the movie was going to do. They had no idea what the money would be. Would they even recoup the money they put in? Nobody knew. But as the film was starting to be shown in little Sundance festivals and places like that, they say, oh, now we probably can put it in a major market, like as far as a few extra theaters. They did that and it started to grow. So as it's growing, they're saying, okay, well, we didn't put this in your contract, but can you go promote this overseas? She say no. Okay, well, fine. She ain't gonna go over there. But they asked somebody went over there to promote it, whether it was her or the next Gabrielle Sidibe or whoever, but somebody went. And the movie kept growing. Let's go fast forward. The movie get out, it's a hit. And it still didn't make buku money like everybody thinking it made. No. They did not make the Tyler Perry, they didn't make a huge amount of money. It was just a big success because of it, because of her acting skills and what she did, and Gabrielle Sidibe, what all of them brought. Now, as a result, she won an Oscar. All I'm saying is, the company took all the risks first. She didn't take the risk first. She made a decision for a friend, but she didn't take the risk first as far as financially.
They're moving. Of course they take all the risk.
She did not.
She didn't have to. There's a risk taken. There is a risk taken to take less money. That is a risk. And it's not like she wrote her contract to come back and take more money later.
And this is my thing. I'm just saying, if you're going to talk about all the risks she took, you got to look at what the company took as well, because the movie
what everybody took.
And
no, you don't. No, you don't.
We're not. Nobody. Actually, what I'm looking at is the fact
it's not a right and wrong. We're just it's just opinions, but it's just everybody expressing their.
I'm just looking at the fact that it goes either way. My issue is them calling her difficult because she wouldn't promote for free. I don't think that's her being difficult. I think what she asked was reasonable. They chose not to do it. Okay, fine. But to call her difficult and then form basically a network of bitterness.
Well, why did she have to answer to names?
They didn't call her bitter simply because she didn't go promote. It was what she was saying.
Right.
And then
that was very unwise. Yeah.
Then they started.
That's true too. That's true too. But they did call her difficult because she wouldn't do what they wanted her to do.
See, she went out and said that, but then they said, okay, well, you telling that. Yeah. Let's talk about what happened on set. Let's talk about how you was acting when we was doing this. That's it. That is in your contract. See, when all that came out, you know what I'm saying? She went on her side and said, no, it didn't happen. They said, yeah, it did. So it's still a back and forth. But she went out first with the whole thing as if they was just slaving her or something. And so then they come back with their 2 cents, and it's just that battle. So it's her side versus their side. I mean, both sides have been consistent with the same stories. They both have told the same stories as far as what their side is and what her side is. Nobody is wavering. So then, yeah, I guess that's what they did. Hey, should I work with Monique? Well, this is my.
Well, maybe if it was like, okay, I'm gonna just go off for 1 second. We could get right back. But I did see the Black Panther movies, a movie on Saturday, and I seen B. Jordan. I seen him. You gonna talk about the post he made as well? He made a post in the Well, anyway. I don't know if it was a team unit, like if it was a team effort, like for example, like, since Tyler Perry, Oprah Winfrey, of course they have the money in it, and they have their director, Lee Daniels, and stuff like that. So if they're going to come together and say, hey, we're going to make a bunch of movies, and then they get Monique, and if they want you to be a team player because they're going to put you in other movies because that's the plan, then I can see her going over there on her own pocket. Yeah. If it's something like that, well, you're going to be, we want you in our movies, or
like a 3-movie show, or TV shows. Look at all these syndicated TV shows they've created.
If that's the case, then I would have gone. But if it's just a contract just for one movie, and it's not that type of deal, or it's not that kind of setting, or it's not that kind of relationship that she has with them. It has to do with a relationship. Like, you speak to Oprah and Tyler, obviously, and Lee Daniels. So if that was the kind of relationship that they have, well, we're going to be using you a lot. We like you as an actress. We like you as a comedian. Tyler Perry makes a lot of comic movies and stuff like that. That's very funny. So if that was the idea, then yeah, I could see her going to do that because she'll be in other films. So for her to say no and go, strictly according to her contract, then I would say, that was kind of like messed up if they're planning to, make you a star in their movies. They want you to star in their movies. So I could see her going on her own pocket on that. But if that wasn't the case, then absolutely, yeah, she shouldn't have gone unless they were going to pay her. But I think what ultimately probably happened is that they were upset with her. Obviously, they was upset with her because Monique did have other things going on before that movie. She did stand-up. She did the Queens of Comedy before that. And she had a fan base, and people liked her. So, she was already in the making of her own. So maybe that's why she didn't do it, because she probably, like Nikki said, she already, got paid less to do the movie because of a friend. So maybe she was like, that's it. And they obviously was upset with her. And I think when she won the Oscar, that was the icing on the cake for a lot of them. They was angry about it, of course. No. Because if they didn't make what they anticipated to make on that movie, and here she goes, and she didn't go to do the most she can, or all that she can do to promote that movie to make it even better, or a better hit, or whatever, or make more money for it, of course they're going to be bitter. So it was bitterness on both sides. Because if she won that Oscar and didn't even mention Lee Daniels' name, I don't know how many other people she didn't mention, but I know Lee Daniels took issue with her not even, mentioning his name when he was the director of the movie. She burnt a lot of bridges, and I think that's where that all started, that they was already had issues, and then when she won that Oscar, that really put a bad taste in their mouth. It really did.
I don't think, I think you got the order a little bit different because she
in Korea.
Okay, I think the thing is with I think you brought the point of her burning bridges, and I think that's the key factor. She won the Oscar and immediately burned bridges. The thing that was wrong, I don't agree that she had to accept. I mean, yes, that might have gotten her more. She didn't have to accept, but she also did not, and it was unwise to badmouth the people that she had worked with, because that's like when you leave a job and when you leave a company, and if any young people on here, when you leave a company, don't go to that next company badmouthing the company you left. That's very bad practice.
Can't do that.
Yeah, that's interview 101.
Yeah.
Don't say anything bad about your last employee, even if it's true.
Right.
And she broke the cardinal rule. She did that.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a career, right? That means you're trying to get to the next level to where you're owning and creating opportunities. So until you're owning and creating opportunities, there will be times of sacrifice that you may not want to do, but it's about what do you want out of your career. Now, if you decide to go home, that's your right. You can go home, but don't go home and then get on the radio and the TV and say, well, they didn't want to pay me and who they think I am. I'm such and such and I done did this. Well, they knew that when they hired you for the job. But when you go say that, everybody else that hires for jobs, because you're not the CEO yet, they're like, well, I don't want to be next on her vacation list because I might not do what she want me to do for her. And it ain't about if it's right. That's just how it works in the industry.
Yeah.
So we already know.
Was she blackballed first, or before she started speaking, or did she started speaking before she got blackballed? She got blackballed
because she was speaking. And I mean,
okay.
She's within her rights to say this happened to me, but the thing is, it's unwise. It is unwise.
She could have got a little more anybody in any career. She could have waited like a decade or so.
But even and another thing, that even her Oscar speech alienated people. I can't remember the exact speech, but she got very
I remember that,
and very arrogant immediately. It went to her head like crack or something. I mean, it was crazy how she acted. Like that was that speech was the beginning, I would say, and then bad mouthing all these people. That was just not the way to go. I don't want to go for free. I'm not doing that, and that could have been it. But it was when she decided,
it should have been it.
Bam, 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 bam. I'm going to talk about these people. Then it went left on her. That's unfortunate because she's very talented, but that was not a good idea. Not at all.
And see, the thing is, that you're battling with people who's not going to run into the media and give you a back and forth. Oprah not doing that. Tyler Perry ain't doing it. They're not running. They're really not going to even take the time to go out there, and they definitely not going to badmouth you. That's just not who they are. So the media don't even have anything to help you kind of, to say yay or nay to your whole thing, because they're not going to give it to you. They're like, man, just forget her. I'm not dealing with her anymore. That's it for me. Okay, well, guess how many people look up to Oprah? How many people look up to Tyler? And if they hear them say that, they ain't even got to say blackball. They just say, I'm not dealing with her, and boom, nobody's dealing with her.
Right.
But they didn't have to say that. They just let it be known, and automatically you're blackballed, and then you're saying, like, they maliciously went out and said, don't you dare work with Monique or else. But that ain't how it went down. Just like, well, I'm not working with her. You can do what you want. You see what I mean? But it's just their influence, and you got to think you got an Oscar. But now what? What we doing? You doing all of this? Tell me what you're gonna do next, or for your next. You could have but you could have went on Netflix, killed it, and then boom, boom, boom. You don't know what could have happened. Because see, Tiffany Haddish and Cardi B's is coming out of everywhere. They just popping up, boom, boom, and look what they doing. Saturday Night Live got its first black female host in, I don't know, forever, whatever. Cardi B is on the top, in the top 10. It's just that thing, and you could have been right back in where you needed to be. Monique, the blah 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 blah, whatever. But this is what you're doing. You're trying to talk to an audience that just don't get you, and that's the problem. You can't.
She caused her own blackball. She caused herself to be blackballed by talking about them, and that's so she caused it herself. If they wasn't talking about it, about how you would go overseas and do this and that for that movie, you shouldn't have had anything to say either.
But one thing we got a little bit off because one thing we started talking about her on the Breakfast Club because Charlamagne was doing his usual disrespectful thing. Now the thing is, he doesn't even really mean it. He just does it for radio. He puts on. He's been like that since he worked with Wendy Williams back in the day. She had receipts because they showed the interview that she did with them in 2014, where they were always like, "You have to ask for your worth. Don't be afraid to ask for your worth." And so she had receipts. Yeah. They were saying all of that. Same thing she was saying. Ask for your worth, which I totally agree with. And now they come back, some years later, and they're saying, "Oh, donkey of the day." I mean, that was just mad disrespectful, and which is what he is. And
very hypocritical too.
She got them together. I mean, I would say she did a good job of getting them together, because they really did not hold up to the ideals that they expressed at that time. So that shows that it's not really about what their real feelings are. It's about getting ratings. That's what that's about. And saying whole thing of the donkey of the day and all that. It's totally about ratings.
Good radio.
Told them off. Yeah, good radio, but not good being a good human. It's not about that.
No. Well, we're going to move along.
Yes.
So we're actually going to get everybody's opinions on Stranger Things. That came out, was it yesterday? Yesterday that came out Saturday?
Yeah, yesterday.
I like it. I like the song and the video. I like it more so of everything as a whole of what Chris is doing, actually. I like the song and I like the video. I think I really like this song more when I saw the video, though. And I just like what he's doing. He put out the Heartbreak on the Full Moon album on gold and went platinum. And now he has a joint album with a collab album with Joyner Lucas. And Friday, Freaky Friday is coming out with Little Dicky. So you have R&B album, you have rap album, and now I don't know what kind of song is Freaky Friday. Is that a pop or? And then Tempo is coming as well. So Tempo, I don't know when that's gonna drop, but I think someone said it's in RCA hands now. So whenever they have a release date for it.
Yeah.
April, I just like everything as a whole, what he's doing.
We'll do the rounds. We're going to do a round robin. Start. April, did you hear the song? What have you thought? What did you think about it, the song or the video? What you saying?
I liked it. I like both of them. I've been reposting.
Yeah. Shay?
I love the video. I'm not really, I wasn't really, familiar with Joyner Lucas, but his flow is really nice. Yeah. And the video was really cool. I like how it had, some funny parts in there. And Chris, he was really talking his stuff on there, so I wasn't
CM.
I have never been a Chris Brown rap fan, but good gracious alive, I love this whole song. The video did it for me. I was like, you better talk. You better say what you gotta say. I mean, the whole flow, his flow on this is what I really like. I was questioning, I know it's a joint album, but I was questioning because it's on Atlantic, so it's on Joyner Lucas, on his record label, with he's on Atlantic. And so I was just wondering, kind of like, how did they pay Chris, or how did this go for Chris as far as this album being distributed by Atlantic versus, I didn't see CBE, I didn't see anything on there but Atlantic. So I'm just kind of wondering about that. But other than that, video, song, I give it to it. I love Joyner Lucas anyway, so that's cool.
Hey, D?
I love the video. I love the song. And I'd like to see him collaborate with other people. So I loved it. I loved everything about it. And I'm interested, just like CM said, to see the Atlantic link and how that's going to relate to RCA and Chris's CBE. But I loved it, and I love that he's working with him, and it's better than the usual people that he normally works with.
I agree. Okay, Jandy?
Oh, yeah. I loved both of them, and I can't wait till they drop that whole project just to see, how it's going to be. I just love that he's just versatile like that. Like he can just any type of song or whatever music, and he kills it every time.
All right, Nikki?
I liked it. I'm always anxious to see, how he does his collabs when he works with other people. And I don't know anything about this individual that, he collabed with. But I will say this, though. When I was looking at the video, I was trying to see if he had, tattoos on the side of his head. Just because my mind just went there. But I thought it was great. I'm curious just to see what else they have in store.
Sade?
I can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I loved it. I've been hyped to hear it since he posted the snippet on his Instagram. I also found it pretty cool how he flipped it, because we know Stranger Things was initially his song that he wanted Joyner on, but now it's Joyner's song and Chris is on it. So I guess that's cool how he gave it to Joyner to be his song, because this is gonna pop off on the charts because it is blazing on iTunes right now.
Oh yeah.
So
it's number one trending on
YouTube
number one
as well.
trending on YouTube.
And this is that mainstream push. He needed that, because Joyner has always been a lyrical beast. He's amazing as a rapper.
Right.
And I guess Chris probably just gave him that, that mainstream push, because it was Joyner Lucas was always overlooked by his peers, because they would, make more mainstream music, and Joyner is a lyricist. Mm-hmm. So I find it dope that Chris was going toe to toe with Joyner, because Joyner, he got the flow, he got the lyrics. It's just and Chris was holding his own. And Joyner tweeted not too long ago that Stranger Things was just the beginning. The next one is even more crazy. I'm like, oh man, I'm excited for the whole project. I'm excited for the whole project.
And it's also rap music we can understand.
Well, the thing is,
saying,
yes,
rap music, you said the key word is rap. I'm a rap purist. I know people talk against rap purists, but I'm a rap purist. I want lyrics. I want cleverness. I want wordplay. I want flow. I want all of it. And they delivered. Joyner Lucas is one of the few artists I've heard collab with Chris where Chris didn't just take over. Chris was amazing on it, but Joyner held his own. So he is a stellar rapper anyway. But it's not a case of him just taking over the song. He's on somebody with on an equal level as far as talent. Doesn't matter that everybody wants to talk about hits, but I talk about talent, because that's why I prefer Fab to some of your favorite rappers, because he's a superior rapper in my opinion. So I'm really glad that he's given somebody with some real talent a push in the mainstream market, like you say, Sade.
You know what is another thing that I also love, and I can't wait for the project, is that they're both genuine fans of each other. They're really genuine fans of each other. Because the way Joyner talks about Chris, he loves Chris, and vice versa. So I was like, this is going to be really good, because their chemistry, just for this to be their first collab, amazing. I think Tyga might have a little competition when it comes to being a good mesh with Chris on the song.
Right. Well, that's everybody. Everybody gave their opinion. That's really good. I'm glad everybody likes it. And it's already. And last time I looked, it was at almost 2 million. It was 1.9 million views. I'm trying to get it to come up on YouTube, but
is it still trending number one?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get. Here it is.
That's 2.3 million right now.
2.3 million. Yeah, it was 1.8 a couple of hours ago. So it's gone crazy. It's hot. It's beautiful.
It's number 2 trending right now.
I moved to number 2. Okay, that's fair.
Wow.
It started at midnight on Sunday. So yeah, it's been doing really well.
I think this is a good today collaboration.
Yeah.
Chris and Joyner Lucas, because one, this video showed me that Joyner Lucas can act a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Like y'all said, his lyrics they're definitely on point.
Wow.
I think his "I'm Not Racist" video got about 50 million views.
Yeah.
And so when you look at Chris team with say a Joyner Lucas, it's a whole different demographic, and they have that comedic thing that's going on in these videos. This is a 90s style video. I mean, literally a 90s style video, and they killed it. I mean, it's funny. It goes right with the song. It ain't a video I gotta try to interpret what the heck is happening versus the lyrics, and like it all goes together. So, that's why I appreciate it. Simple, to the point. The fact that Chris put this song on his Instagram and said, I think Joyner Lucas, or I think he put another dude named Slime Ball or Slime somebody, whoever. He's like, they would sound good on this song. And then Joyner Lucas hit him up. Next thing you know, they're in the studio and boom, here we go. Just like that. Boom, boom, boom. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where when you look at how it came together, this is the perfect collaboration, for this time right now, 2018. So,
like how people were saying, who knew Breezy gonna bring real rap back? So I was like, okay. But I agree with you, Sim. I like that comedic duo with a serious message, and I've never seen Chris in a situation except early Tiger where they kind of played off each other. Yeah. But I like the way they played off each other.
Exactly. I like that.
But did you wait? But I did. Like I was really listening to the lyrics. Chris was really like in his bag, talking his ish. Did you hear him?
Yeah.
He was like 100
my
million
God.
platinum. He was like, what he said? He said 100 million platinum. You ain't gotta listen. Exactly. Right. Tell him you ain't gotta listen. Thank you.
Yes, that's one of my favorite.
That's probably one of my favorite lines. That's my favorite line.
Same.
That's what we always tell them. If you don't like him, you don't have to listen to it.
Exactly.
If you listen, if you watching, you see what we be saying. Like if you don't like him, you don't have to listen to it.
Right.
But he's still gonna go black if you listen to it or not. So
They can't help themselves.
Yeah, because they know, they just mad about it. They know he's all that. They're just mad about it.
mm-hmm.
I have a question.
I like the part when he says he's gonna go dance on the moon like Michael.
Oh, speaking of Michael, you see his sister was at his house. Paris was at Chris's house yesterday.
Oh, his daughter, yeah.
Oh,
His daughter.
That's Chris's
yeah?
sister. That's Chris's sister.
Oh, Chris's sister.
Basically.
Michael's children were
Michael's
together.
children. That's funny. I didn't see it, but I heard somebody saying that, she used to be a fan, now she's casually at his house. Funny.
That's not the first time either. She goes over there.
Yeah.
I just love the creative space that Chris is in.
Jay, you said you had a question?
Oh yeah, no, I just wanted. Why does they keep slapping the man on the head like that?
I know. What was that?
I don't know.
It's just funny.
It was funny.
Yeah.
That the guy's whole head was funny. I mean, we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
His head was funny. The way his hair didn't grow was funny.
Well, everybody, we went way over time, but that's okay because it was a really good discussion.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. So thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for joining us on this episode, and we hope you'll join us again at the Vanguard.